Okay, there we go.
Hello, greetings, everybody. Welcome to our welcome to this video and this interview and conversation with Martin Thambert, who is a dear friend. We spent many years together as residents at Synchronicity Foundation. Alan and Naomi. He watched Naomi grow up practically. I don't know how old she was when you got here, but you certainly saw her become a teenager and all of that. Martin came from Sweden, and so along with our theme, what I observed with Martin, and why I was inspired to invite Martin to join us is Martin came here. I mean, everybody comes here, and if anybody stays here long term, it's certainly a love for awakening of one's own evolution, one's own heart, mind, spirit. It's for awakening. That's why we're here. We come here, we surrender, we give ourselves to the routine, to the teachings of the spiritual director, Master Charles Cannon, and an adventure begins. But it was that love that brought us here. And then once that happens, a love of a greater self and its expression emerges out of that. And Martin had his own unique expression, which came out in a couple of different ways. And so that's where I want to invite you, Martin, to share that with our viewers.
Right.
You began to awaken, your heart opened, and how that began to creatively express through you.
Right. Yes. Very good. Well, thank you for having me on, first of all.
It's a great pleasure.
Yes. Very nice. Well, I had my expression kind of came, one of my big interests has always been Qigong, the Chinese healing art and the martial arts as well, actually. I've studied a lot of martial arts, and Qigong was a part of it. And so that was just a routine that I continued during my years at the sanctuary. And then it's funny because I started developing my own kind of routine. I actually had something called what I would call the Divine Mother Qigong. That was my theme, and then after the Mumbai attack, Linda Noble approached me, and she said, Martin, I want you to come up with a Qigong form that's gonna be the peaceful dragon, because as you know, Linda was gonna teach Naomi to make dragons out of ladders, and that's her thing, her love that came from her.
Right, Linda Ragsdale. Yes.
Yeah, and so she wanted to have a Qigong form to go with it. And as it was in my studies of the acupuncture, and there is a form that's called Awakening the Dragon Within.
Beautiful.
And so, I thought, well, that's very appropriate. And I created a self-massage on stimulating certain acupuncture points, and then some movements to go with it. And I called it the Peaceful Dragon Qigong. So that's my first kind of my own Qigong form that I created. And so I did that, and I did the regular Qigong routines that I already had from before, and just played with that and let that evolve. And so until last summer, I had a new kind of, for lack of a better word, I call it a download. The spiral has always been, an integral part of Qigong movement, and also the martial arts as well. And you can see it in all ancient cultures, and the spiral is a very significant symbol of something. And to me, when I started look more deeply into it, it's like, well, everything is kind of in a spiral motion. you could say, all the way from galaxies down to pine cones and
Yes.
water edison. So you have it everywhere. So the spiral
Yeah.
to me is like very, very
Universal.
universal and fundamental
Yep.
movement. And so I kind of, so I started working with that in the Qigong setting. You know, there's some spiral movements there, and I kind of took a few specific movements, and I thought, well, that's good. And then, so I did that for a while, and then that came into, well, this is how I connect to the universe and down. Like, you know, we talk about multidimensional, you know, alignment and whatnot, and subtle dimensions down to dance and whatnot, but also in the field of your bloodline, your ancestors that you can connect to. So that was the second step. And then again, I looked into the meridians and acupuncture points, and okay, there were actually some points that you could actually stimulate that would kind of, or points, it's energy gates.
Right.
It's energy gates. And so when you're dialing in on certain points, you're kind of setting the frequency for that vibration.
Fascinating.
And with your intention as well. And
wow.
So I started experimenting with that, invoking the bloodline on your mother and your father's side, and working with those kind of let's say limiting patterns that we have, the data that we, you know, MC
That's
talks
right.
about all the data that we inherit. And that's that you have in your specific bloodline, your morphogenetic field, you know,
right.
And invoking those ancestors to come and work with you, through you.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's very powerful.
So we actually, a couple of us, Tony and Cynthia and I, had a chance to, you gave us a session a week ago, and you're developing a whole course, a series of sessions based around this. Could you tell us more about that? Because we want to be offering that soon to our audience.
Yeah, right. So, and this is still a work in progress. There's more things that's coming to me. But for now, I have like a few basic movements that you do, and as well as setting the intention and stimulating the acupuncture points. And then you can make even more movements around that. And it's all revolving in the spiral. So it spirals within spirals, you could say.
It was amazing. And you're a very good teacher. And I found, you know, I knew it was going to be pleasant and relaxing, but I didn't expect, I felt all this heat rising up. And I definitely felt a kind of a rush of energy. So something was going on. I think it opened up something.
Yeah. And I've only had, you were like the second group of people that I've done it with. I've mostly done it on myself, or with myself. And then I had another session with a group of people on the Halloween. You know, Halloween is all Souls Day and All Saints Day.
Oh, so, right.
So
it sounds perfect for Halloween. Wow.
It is. I mean,
the true Halloween is about connecting with ancestors. In Mexico, it's the Day of the Dead, and it's a celebration of life, actually.
It is. And so my focus with this Qigong form is like twofolded. One is because in our bloodline, or in our whatever it's called, this
morphogenetic
field, that field, there's also the shadow side, right? You know, all the limiting data, all the hurt, all the negativity, whatever form it comes, right? That's also in our field. And so one part is to clear that, to work with that, to integrate that. And the other part is, without our ancestors, we wouldn't be here where we are. So to give thanks and to honor, and, you know, like that. And I think it's an important part, because at least here in the West, we totally disconnected with that history, our lineage.
It's so true. And I think it's such an act of love to do a session like that with that intention. It's being very conscious and including and honoring and embracing and loving the past and what it brought to us and our connection to ancestors, which includes the good, the bad, and the ugly, but yet it's contributed to who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
And here we are to evolve it further. So we're going to take it, and those coming after us, we will be the ancestors.
Exactly. And another, these are kind of mystical experiences, I guess you would call it. When I've been doing it, it's like you have the directions up and down, left and right, back and forth, and you're standing in the center. And when you're really anchored into that now moment, it all collapses into. So actually we are, both releasing ancestors from limiting beliefs and our whatever's coming in the future. So, it's
that's interesting. So it's a healing process, isn't it?
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. So and that's what I told you guys to March or Cynthia, that's still doing the yagna. That was one of the insights that came to me when I was doing all these movements. Came to me, I'm the yagna. Yeah, exactly. I'm the transformative fire that's transforming, transmuting, and everything like that. So it's very powerful for sure.
It is. And I think that you make it easy to follow because it's so natural for you. And we were doing this session online, but yet there we were, and we were able to follow the movements, and it created those openings. So we want to encourage people to sign up for your course. And
for sure,
as soon as it's ready, sometime in the next couple of months, stay tuned for emails, and we will begin to promote it. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. It's a great way to connect with people, but we will also learn and heal at the same time.
Yeah. And it's also, I'm coming from it from the shamanic perspective, but also if you look at the movements for the physical body, it's great workout too. Gentle, but opening and turning and moving the muscles and ligaments and fascia and whatnot. So it's a very healing on many levels. Yeah.
It sounds, Martin, like the creative process is still going on for you with this.
Oh, very much
unfolding. So. It's continuing to unfold.
Oh yeah. Yesterday I started looking into it, because the spiral, okay, what's this? How can I move with the spiral, like in a spiral as well? And then I was like, well, the Sri Yantra is also kind of a spiral. So then I looked at the Sri Yantra, and it's like, okay, if I move like this, started moving in the Sri Yantra pattern. So again, aligning with the whole of creation in different ways, and the yin yang pattern as well is kind of a spiral. So yeah.
It's fascinating. So this is wonderful. It all, there's so many correlations and so many connections.
Yeah. And it's funny. That's the fun part when I start doing it, and when I've been doing it, I've been playing around with mantras as well.
Okay.
So I did that on the first workshop. So I did you have Ganesha, because he's the remover of obstacles. So you invite him and take on his energy into your system, and then the Divine Mother mantra, for healing and whatnot. And that's just add on to it.
I can see that, because for those people who are not familiar with mantras or the power of mantras, mantra is a sound vibration. It's a frequency whose effects are known to be life supportive and harmonic, because it comes from ancient language of Sanskrit, which is a very pure language, and it's untainted with anything else. So it's a pure form of energy that is spoken.
Exactly. and that you're
so it fits
inviting into your
perfectly.
system. Yeah, yeah. And what else? And that's another way how I related it to the yagna, because I remember MC said something, you know, when you attend a yagna, he says something to the effect that many lifetimes of karma can be released in the yagna process when you're attending the yagna. So it's like you're doing your own yagna when you're doing this, in a sense.
Yes. Yeah. And there was a certain inner fire that got ignited, I found, that when we did it, and that's what dissolves whatever happens to be there, ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. So it's
Wow.
very fun.
I mean, it sounds like we could, you know, do a whole course just even talking about this. And then also a course with all of the movements and the sessions. So maybe there's all kinds of creative ways to get into this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's
so,
great fun.
Martin, I hope that anyway, we will work out the technical aspects of this and hope to have this posted soon. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. And thank you, Martin, for tuning in from Sweden in the middle of your household responsibilities as a father and a partner and all of that. Really appreciate it. And we will have you back, and I look forward to sharing with everybody the dates of the course when we can settle all the details.
Great.
Yeah.
Very
all
good.
righty then.
Okay.
So goodbye for now, everybody.
Bye. Okay, so
you hit